Hey, can y'all see me? I'm trying to get my lighting and things right. I don't record too much in here. Hold on a minute. Stop looking at my hands. Hold on a minute, peoples. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Okay. Excuse me, baby. Move out the way. Hey, YouTube. Am I live? Are we live? Oh. People, for the last several weeks, I guess a month or so, they've been talking about this damn Dave Chappelle special, right? And I used to buy into these subjects or comment when they affected my communities and so forth. But for me, I'm just not that into comedians. It takes a whole lot for me to sit there and watch some comedian. They just don't make me laugh. And I remember the days of Richard Pryor. I used to sit there and laugh hysterically listening to him when his big thing was using the N-word, right? Hi, y'all. Hi, Marcia Jackson. Prima Wanda. Mocha Drop. Hey, drop a mocha. Kennethia, right? Kennethia or Kennethia. I forgot. You told me last week. Happy Saturday, people. So I finally get to this story. I'm sure you guys have probably already heard it and burned out on all that. But the point is, we've been talking about Dave Chappelle for the last 2 weeks, right? Now I said, let me go and see this thing and see what the hell is the big issue, what the problem is. So I sat down and watched the comedian. I haven't done that in years. So first of all, my first point is these niggas are making too much money. When I looked at that thing, the first thing I thought was this motherfucker is coming on here and talking for an hour with these dry ass jokes that not that funny. He gets a response whenever he says nigga or white people or trans people or something, some gay joke, but basic kind of shit. I said, they gave that nigga $27 million to do that? Girl, this very live is going to be longer than that. And so he goes and does one of those things, and then he goes back and sits in Ohio on his ranch or whatever, and just live basically off of one performance, 1 hour. I think it's sick. Ain't nothing special about what that boy said, honey. You think these people at Netflix who are making all of this money, and they're able to pay somebody $27 million for some damn comedy specials, you think those people have not thought this whole damn thing out, right? They want him to come on there and tell them trans jokes because what people been talking about for 2 weeks. Why did me, Timothy Blaine, who never watches that stuff, never watches stand-up comedians, I don't find them funny. It's very hard for me to find them funny. Now, when he has all the props of his show, I thought that Rick James bitch thing was hysterical, right? But just for a man, they say that's one of the hardest forms of entertainment. To just stand up and tell jokes. I was not impressed. So the big controversy is about him talking about the transgender girls, I guess, and they want to cancel him. He don't give a goddamn if you cancel him, child. The man already said this is my last special there. He done did 6 of them. I don't know if he paid $27 million for one. Uh-oh, my dentures are slipping. Hold on. Let's oil them up. I don't know if it's a 1 for a contract or 3 of them, all that, but he's just making way too much money, right? And so we've been trolled, people. That boy knows exactly what was going to happen when he goes up there and tells that shit about transgender people. What amazed me is he was telling all these stories about that the trans community was already furious with him. They already wanted to cancel him after special 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each time they wanted to troll him, right? I mean, they wanted to cancel him. So what does he do? He goes up there and he turns it up another notch. We're being played, people. That man, he is not concerned or bothered by the controversy that this thing has drawn. It was intentional. We're talking about, they used to call them publicity, right? Some people call that trolling when you're doing things just to get an audience. But it's not a mistake. So Netflix, we're standing by free speech and we're doing all this. Dave Chappelle has already made his money. He said this is his last special on there. I guess if they give you $27 million, motherfucker, it should be. So what, for all these shows, you've got $100 million from them? I would think so. You can go back and live in the lap of luxury for the rest of your goddamn life, or just come over here and insulting people for a couple of videos. Where were the big jokes? I didn't see no damn big jokes. He told a couple of dry ass stories about walking into a bar and somebody being trans sitting next to him. But he says just more repulsive things about white folks. They in the audience, they laughing at him. He says things about niggas, and he don't use niggas intentionally. He used niggers to excite the white people. So they over there, the black ones, they in there laughing. So everybody laughing. So then when he says something about the trans girls, then you're not supposed to laugh at that. Okay, Dave Chappelle, accept this. This are the trans women's, this is their moment, honey. Moment in time when people are being sensitive. They're actually voicing how they feel about the way they have been abused for all these years. Nobody wants to be the butt of your goddamn jokes, right? We understand that this is what all comedians do. Probably those same things, the very same things he said, any comedian will say that or worse. That's what they do, try to get a response out of people, right? So I don't see what the big hoopla was. I would say that the thing that is most offensive about his show was that he focused so much on trans people. I mean, is that got to be your whole damn show? So I got to see you sit up here and tell me 5 dry ass stories or 5 dry ass 1 minute stories, girl, and that gives you $27 million. Girl, I think that's a farce. I think we were talking about this bullshit because that's what they expected. This is what Netflix paid them all that money for, and they got to get them numbers up. And every time we click on to watch Dave Chappelle, that's the whole point, right? Because many of us are not going to go to Netflix and watch Dave Chappelle. But now we got to know what the controversy is, right? So we go on over there, see what makes us laugh. You know, all he does is talk about people. So I don't know why we're in such a protected class, but I do understand that. Why does it got to be so much focused on trans people, right? Because you know it'll be controversial. That's why. Don't stand in the way of someone else's struggle, Dave Chappelle. You're trying to talk politically correct in the middle of dogging these folks out, right? Then at the end, he has a 15-minute dialogue about the situation he had with this trans person here in San Francisco. Correct? Why are you trying to clean up? If you know you ain't wrong, why are you trying to tell us some of my best friends is trans, some of my best friends is black, or why some of my best friends is white? That's all that was, child. You gonna tell us about one trans person that you met in America who you thought was a terrible comedian, and you're gonna tell us, girl, that because you know that person, then that makes you less homophobic? Because you bragging about you being homophobic, right? This will get a rise, right? But it's those people's turn. Why are you stepping on somebody else's struggle, right? So I was not impressed. I said, you got to be kidding me. Nigga, that's worth about $50, that whole routine. You ain't said nothing funny, even nothing special about it. At least with Rick James, I would sit there and I would laugh. If I'm not laughing, girl, I don't know. I think I got 2 chuckles out of that thing some damn where. Something about niggas or some shit like that, right? But that's all I get. That's all we get for $27 million. It's ridiculous. They're overpaid. So people say, oh, you ain't supposed to count nobody else's money. You ain't supposed to speak down, do a goddamn lie, speak on whatever I want to speak on, just like he speak on whatever he wants to speak on. He's making too much goddamn money, right? Is this the boy that sit there and walked away from some contract with the TV studios? He walked away from contract with CBS, NBC, one of them damn shows, child. Why should he work hard? Why should he work hard? And Netflix gonna give him all these millions and millions and millions of dollars to walk on there for an hour. Ain't nothing special about that shit. He know he ain't. If that's all you can come up with, boy, in a whole goddamn year. This is the routine you can come up with. You can't find, girl. I can still remember when Richard Pryor came on and did the Sanctified Monkey. I can remember that. It's been 40 years. 40 years later, I can remember the story about the Sanctified Monkey. The monkey lived here. The Richard Pryor did, right? What can I remember about that shit you just did, Dave Chappelle? There's nothing memorable about it at all. You just trolling people. You're getting people to have a controversy, and then you don't give a goddamn because you already made your money. So you just sitting back up in or you say you live Ohio, some goddamn where, you just sitting back there laughing, right? But look at them, look at them. They don't realize the numbers are going up. Look at the numbers. That's what Netflix is in it, because they got to get their money back, right? Please. Using people. How y'all doing? Hi, Almond Brown. But people respond just how he said they would. They laughed at all of his black jokes and making fun of them. But the minute he said something about the LGBTQ, there was outrage. Well, there wasn't outrage there in the audience. He had a point to prove. He ain't got no goddamn point. He got a point to prove, is that he's a multi-millionaire and he knows how to play an audience. That's what only point he made, Almond Brown. He ain't did shit. Because if he really wanted to say, he could have been a lot more offensive than that, right? He was trying to skirt the line, honey. How can I get these jokes off to please all of the people who want to laugh at people and make fun of people? Because that's a lot of what goes on in stand-up shows. That's why I don't like them. Just make fun of people, right? He could have just as easily went into telling fat jokes. He could have just as easily went into talking about homeless people, but something juicy about that trans thing, right? So Dave Chappelle, you could have put one of those in, it would have been tolerable. You could have put two in, but 80% of your goddamn show is about trans people. What kind of a minority are they? There's so few of them, girl, that why would that consume your whole goddamn show? Is it because you've used the nigger so much that it's lost its value? Or because you talked about white people so bad, it's lost its value now? You got to find something new. So you chose to use those people. I was offended by the last story you told, right? Because all that was saying is, my best friend, oh, she was funny. Oh, you're funny. I didn't think you were funny because your show was dry. Still with the insults. Do better, Dave Chappelle. I didn't buy into that bullshit at all. I said, well, this nigga gonna come on here and say something, child. That ain't offensive. I mean, it ain't nothing. What was the goddamn jokes? I don't even remember what they were. That's how important his routine was. That I just watched it an hour ago, and already I don't even remember what the fuck he said. When I came away from a Richard Pryor show, when I came from a Richard Pryor show, right? All through the school, all through the neighborhood, we would be talking about the Richard Pryor jokes all through the whole goddamn year and 2 years and 3 years. And like I said, I still remember the routine now. What the fuck is Dave Chappelle bringing? He's a better comedian than that. Damn, you had 2 years to work on it? That was a lazy ass show, child. He told, oh, my best friend. Oh, I told her to open my show. What kind of stupid ass move was that? You have an unproven comedian you chose only because she's transgender. So you ever justify then you being able to insult transgender people? Because look at me. Look how wonderful I am. I had a transgender open for me, like you're doing her a favor. I had a transgender open for her. You go over and you say she bombed, right? So why'd you put her out there front like that? What does that prove? Aren't there funny transgender people? If you didn't think she was so funny, right? So he told that story with 15. That was a quarter of his show, was trying to justify that he is not homophobic. Although he's saying he's homophobic all through the damn thing, like it's being sarcastic kind of thing, right? Anyway, I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was funny, honey. But I have to tell you, I'm prejudiced. I don't find comedians all that funny. I don't find them getting all that money either. So regardless of what Monique says, I think she would probably price right. And the rest of these fools are ones out of control, honey. But I know Netflix, honey, that's a real company, and they got a profit line, they got a profit margin, they got board of directors, honey. And they said, we need to get this money back. So how can you pour it on? Let's get a controversy going on. Let's get a cancel Dave Chappelle routine going on. How you gonna cancel him? He said he finished. He don't do nothing else. Does he even do stand-up routines anymore? He just come on there and collect his money and go on about his business, child. It's an afternoon. Mm-hmm. Why are you mad at that man? I'm mad at his money. I want the coin, honey. If he made 50,000 on this show, I wouldn't give a damn. Say, go ahead, laugh, nigga. But if you making 20, What y'all know the numbers better than I do. All I remember is when they said $27 million to do that shit, child, for an hour. I was personally offended by that. And then you're going to come and troll our community to raise your numbers up. That whole goddamn cancel Dave Chappelle, that's all hype, honey. That ain't nothing but a publicity stunt. How you gonna cancel him? He don't work. Netflix told you how they feel about it, honey, and they are not surprised by that. They are not giving nobody all the millions and millions of dollars to go up there and pull a surprise on them, right? They probably had the whole damn routine written out, honey, and presented to the board of directors. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's how we're gonna work it. Anything that brings you attention to your project, right? Now, how many people went and signed up for Netflix? That's their goal, right? Is more people to sign up for Netflix. How many people say, well, I can afford $10 a month. I want to see Dave Chappelle. So they signed up to see Dave Chappelle, but now they're on Netflix, right? Because somehow or other, these people, you can't pay somebody $27 million. I used to have the same problem with athletes. I said, what? This dude is making $80 million to play basketball, something he likes to do. I didn't realize, okay, in order for them to pay all those people $80 million, $40 million contract, play 3 games, in order for that to go out, a whole lot more has to be coming in, right? And then when you peep those ticket prices, a whole lot of money. So in order for Netflix to make this worth their while, they have to do everything they can to get people to watch this show. And that's exactly what I've seen. People have been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And what we have to understand now, that social media plays a huge role in I don't know, maybe Richard Pryor would have been canceled back in the day, right? If they had social media. But social media plays a big role. And those trans people, they have a right to say, no, we don't want to be the butt of your joke. Okay? If you would have came and did one joke for us, one joke for the blacks, one joke for the whites, one joke for the racists, it would have been fine. But just to go on and on and on and on, honey, singling these people out who do not have the power to fight you back, Dave Chappelle. But now you see, with these organizations and the way they organize, child, they can fight bullies back, right? Just bullies. You're picking on people who couldn't defend themselves. So as far as your story on the end, you could have been telling that to your friends, honey, over dinner. I ain't buy it. No, I ain't mad at him. Shit, let somebody come on here and give me $27 million, child, to come and run my mouth for an hour. Basically the same time it takes to do one of these live things, child. Of course. We know why you're doing it. I guess most of us know how I'm doing it, but don't be getting all involved. Oh, Dave Chappelle feels this way. Oh, Dave Chappelle feels that he's getting a huge paycheck, honey. He's going to pay his bills for the next 10 years in the next 90 minutes or 1 hour, whatever. Please. Yes, I said my digits were slipping. They are slipping. Why are they slipping? Let me see. See, I glues them in the morning, right? And in the morning, they're supposed to last all day long. But sometimes, depending on what you eat, I think I had some salted potato chips. I think that salt interferes with the glue. I ain't shame, Charles Dawson. Let me see what y'all saying this morning. Good morning, people. Happy Saturday. But I had to go over there and see. And I believe that there's nothing special about me. Just like I had to go and see, other people will have to go and see. Right? They don't run commercials on Netflix, so I guess they make their money just by new people signing up. But no, don't think that nobody's trying to cancel no Dave Chappelle. We don't give a fuck. And if they do, if the organizations are trying to cancel him or suggest that, they're just being used. They're being trolled, honey. Right? The race jokes don't have the same impact anymore. Right? They put the ER on a word as opposed to nigga, and you got to use nigger in order to make it funny and all that. It just doesn't have the same impact. He should have put more work into creating something that was funny. Now take somebody like when those Medeas first came out. Now I don't find them funny anymore, but when they first came out, they were hysterical to me. They were hysterical to me, but it wasn't just a person. It's different to do a comedy show like that. like Tyler Perry in his Medea shows. They made him a very wealthy man, right? Now you can get tired of anything, so eventually people get tired of watching that. But they made him a very wealthy man because they were funny. That's the thing. Is it funny? If it ain't funny, why are you doing it? I don't give a goddamn about you met some transgender woman in San Francisco. That ain't what I paid you money to see. Who cares? You ain't nobody. Was it funny? You're paid to be funny. So most of the things that he said, they weren't even full jokes. So you get an F from me, Dave Chappelle. Well, we're gonna respect that you got your money, but for us, the only question of what a comedian is, was it funny? That's why Tyler Perry was able to turn his slapstick routines into a multi-billion-dollar organization. Why? Because it was funny. Medea talked about beating children. She said some pretty discouraging things herself, girl. But it was amusing. We wanted to laugh. We went there to laugh. If you're not laughing, don't call yourself a comedian. You are a professional comedian, Dave Chappelle. You could have done better. I think you should have just stick with skits. Rick James, that was hysterical. I mean, it required more than one person, but not a whole lot more than one person. You could have done a stage routine like that. You could have put some time, knowing what they were going to pay you. You could have put more time in it. Maybe the time for just straight stand-up is just gone, honey. You could have produced something much better than that. You are a much better comedian than that, I believe. But then I don't watch comedians. I don't find them all that amusing. All right, people. How y'all doing? Hi, Nicole Reloaded. Don't get mad at me. I got opinion just like he do, honey. Everybody got an opinion. We all got lips and teeth. Well, I don't have no teeth exactly. Well, sort of. We all at least have full teeth. And we all have an opinion. Hi, Deborah Mitchell. Charles Dawson. Soul Sister. What do y'all think? Was it funny to you? I don't know that it's necessarily it's all that. I mean, granted, they were jokes, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like it was anything that was so homophobic that you would just stand up and walk out of the theater. It wasn't that on that level. That's what I mean. They're just trolling us, creating a drama where there really is none. He needs to just do. If you're going to be some of you are equal opportunity roaster and all that kind of shit, then you need to roast accordingly, right? You say 70% of the population is white, okay, then you gotta make 70% your show be white folks, right? And then you say that black people, we only 12%, okay, make 12% of your jokes about black people, okay? And then trans people are less. What are they? The whole community of gay people is only 10%. So what could a trans person actually be? Okay, so that means that you need to address them on that same level. Then, if it's only let's say they're 3% of the population, then your jokes need to be 3%, girl. We don't need to see 80% of your jokes about the people who are only 3% of the population. Get it? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all don't agree with. It's okay to disagree. Whatever, honey. I'm just telling you, you're being trolled. I'm just telling you that there is no real or maybe there is a cancel. I don't like that cancel culture shit anyway. But I think there is people who are angry about that and want to cancel him because it wasn't the first time. If it was even one concert, people just, it's a comedian. So what? Don't watch him. But he's been doing this over and over and over and over, which means it's a cash cow. Talking about trans people, little tiny minorities, people who don't have the arms to fight you back. That's a bully, Dave Chappelle. And you did it deliberately. You did it deliberately because most of your routine here was all about your past experience with the trans community, right? How angry they already were at you. So if they're so angry with you and you feel like you've done them wrong, or you are sorry for your transgressions, why would you come on and do the same thing? It's an absolute and total lack of respect, honey. He did a little bathroom joke about people standing up to pee and all that kind of stuff. I would expect more. Netflix, they know how to spend their money, though, child. Me too. Beautiful Son 3. Okay, I think we'll watch it tonight. You're going to watch it tonight. That's the whole point, honey. It's just to get you to watch, child. If they didn't have no controversy attached to that damn 1 hour performance, child, wouldn't nobody go see it. We wouldn't even be aware that he was even on there, right? So what do? We go out there and we start a fire. Look, there's no fire. That's a fire. Ain't nobody got time for that. You would be a fan of Dave Chappelle to actually understand his comedy style. Don't kill me. I ain't gonna kill you, girl. You can like Dave Chappelle you want to. You can like anybody you want to, baby. I ain't saying that. Controversy self. I didn't get it. I didn't see what was so damn funny. I mean, the little jokes about he was standing, what was it? He's standing in the bathroom. Trans person pulled his skirt up and peed. Something about then, would it be better for a man to come in and turn around and pee out of the culo, the coochie? I don't know. Not memorable. Of course, I'm an older person now. Maybe I just don't get it. Some people love comedy shows. Every time a comedy show comes to town, honey, they at the comedy show. And then for some people, it means nothing. I like that scene in Nutty Professor. Remember the guy? Was that him? Was that Dave Chappelle? Somebody answer. Was that Dave Chappelle in Nutty Professor? He played a comedian on stage roasting people. He was telling fat jokes. I just said he could just as easily be telling fat jokes, right? And then Eddie Murphy started roasting him, the comedian. And I think that was Dave Chappelle, wasn't it? Let me see. I know y'all know. Y'all know all the histories, honey. Okay. No, he ain't no Richard Pryor. That's for damn sure. I'm sure Richard would like to have that money. But Richard was good. He was the highest paid at one point. Richard was a more talented man. Okay. So that's kind of what their job is. That might be played out, Dave Chappelle. All this social media, and then people cancel you. I don't know how you're going to cancel. How you going to cancel him? He said this is his last Netflix show. And that's the only place he's getting his money, really. I don't know if he does Lounge Acts or Vegas or Tahoe, some shit like that. But really, he gets his money from Netflix specials, right? He's done this 5 or 6 of them. And all of them have paid him just truckloads of money, right? Okay. Yes, it was Dave Chappelle. It was Dave Chappelle. Okay. That was a prime example. And Nutty Professor started going off when he turned to Buddy Love. He started embarrassing him and running him off the stage. Right? Hi, everybody. I love Richard. Richard's a funny, and he was a talented actor. You know, Richard Pryor in his time was the highest paid actor, not only the highest paid black actor or the highest paid comedian. He was the highest paid actor at one point in his career. As a mother of a non-binary child, I am constantly reminding them that not to give another person's opinion hold power over you. Right. It wasn't even an opinion, I don't think. I don't think that man gives a goddamn about no trans, about no gay, about no nothing. He went in there to make $1, child. Here is our controversy. What is our plan? How are we going to promote this special? Right? If you're demanding that kind of money, we need to figure out a plan that we're going to be able to recoup those funds. And I would imagine a major corporation like that, we want to double our money. So we giving you $27 million. That means we got to get $60 million. Can you do that? In 1 hour? Ain't nobody else talking about. We ain't talking about nobody else on Netflix. Y'all see anybody on here talking about Netflix? Some of them movies, you know, they got 100 actors in it, 100 writers. They got everything, right? No. What we talking about? Dave Chappelle on stage by himself for a whole hour. That's it. People can't stop talking about it. We gonna cancel him. Cancel him where? What's there to cancel? He already got the paycheck, child. All you're gonna do is you're gonna go over there to see what Jay Chappelle said. Oh, I don't think it was that bad. Oh, it was bad. It was all of it was bad. I mean, it's just making fun of people. The white folks didn't seem to have a problem with it. The black folks didn't seem to have a problem with it. But it's just a very sensitive time for these not only LGBTQ people, but also specifically for trans people who are the most discriminated against and made of the most, made fun of the most. So they're standing up. Good for them, honey. Just say we're not dealing with this. Now, that might have had no effect on Dave Chappelle at all. He's going back to Ohio. But it might have an effect on the next person who attempts to do the same thing. They tell me that guy, what's his name, the baby or whatever, he's still suffering from his comments. He has not been unblocked yet. So you wait too long, then nobody cares about what you say anyway. It's over, honey. Dave Chappelle, Eddie Griffin, Cat Williams cannot be sold. Cannot be sold. Strong, black, proud, dress wearing comic. Proud, no dress wearing comic. Okay, all right, lovely one. Okay, you said all these guys they are better because they don't wear a dress. Okay, that's a homophobic statement, honey. Right? What's wrong with wearing a dress? All of us got rich. They all wore a dress. Starting back with Flip Wilson, honey. Cheryl Dean. Can you make me laugh? That's the whole test with me with these people supposed to be funny. It's just that's where Monique fucked up. Monique got to be where all she wanted to do is talk about her goddamn feelings, right? And people say, "Well, goddamn, I'm playing for a comedy show. You come there talking about having other black people suck your dick. I mean, is that the comedy? I might got a chuckle or whatever, girl, but you have ruined your career. Because every time we see you, you're talking about some shit about you not getting paid enough. We don't want to talk about your money. That's your business. We want to laugh. All Tyler Perry did right. He figured out his audience and he made them laugh. That's it. He said he was inspired by Nutty Professor because Eddie Murphy played all those characters. He said, I can play that woman character. I've been hanging around beauty shops all my goddamn life. I know all the things they say, what they do, and I know what makes them women laugh. Right? I was be hysterical. I watched some damn movies. How many did he have? Well, who knows? But the first ones, Mother Badia's Family Reunion, and then I Can Do All by Myself. I knew every line in those movies. Why? Because they were funny. I think this man might be somewhat insecure or just lazy because he turned on that deal when they were offering him all these millions and millions of dollars to do another season of his show, television show, right? And he turned it down. People say, why he turned it down? He was probably tired. He said, I ain't got to live like this. I got plenty of money. I got plenty of property. I got a wife. I got children. I want to live a little bit, right? So he walked away from that. And what he realized is I can do these specials once a year, once every 2 years, once every 3 years, and live comfortably. I ain't got to work but an hour. Folk getting played. Mm-hmm. There's some players in the house. There's some players in the house. Tyler Perry's not funny anymore. He's not funny now. The Madea character, it was unique when it first came on. At first, I thought he was hysterical. Honey, I walked in the room and somebody was playing that shit, and I was on my way out just to pick up something there at his house. And I sat there and I just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And it was funny. And then even though I knew it was slapstick and I shouldn't be laughing at this kind of stuff, it was a play. Black people don't go to plays. They don't go to plays so that Tyler Perry showed up. He had them lined up around the corner, right? So he had to be funny, Deborah Mitchell. He's doing all this dramatic stuff. He also can act too. I mean, he's a talented man. I think Tyler Perry's biggest thing is he refuses to let other people participate in his success. He could hire a whole staff of writers like nothing. I mean, this is a person who give people houses and cars and stuff. He got plenty of money. Why can't you just hire a staff of writers, honey, to raise up? He can't accept that they know what he feels like he knows everything. He's the writer, the director, the producer, the actor, the actress. He's everybody, right? That's dumb. Yeah, you can do it if you're in a pinch, but you don't want to continually do that. If you expect, you have one of the biggest studios in America, and yet you're going to be the one person doing everything, wearing every hat. When you go to a movie, usually you might see 10 minutes of nothing but people who are participating in the show. With Tyler Perry, you don't see but one name over and over and over. Oh. Tyler Perry can't even play himself. Oh, y'all turned on Tyler? Okay. Y'all will at least acknowledge that at one time it was all about Tyler Perry, right? You said Tyler Perry is a successful businessman. Comedy is a no-go. Well, where did the money come from, Deborah Mitchell? Where did the money come from? Honey, it's very rare that you find somebody who's going to take a stage play and turn them into videos. And then somewhere like Lionsgate, who organized that? I mean, that's the business aspect of it. But to have this great big old man playing a grandma in movies, and the movies actually turn a profit, that's some pretty crafty shit, honey. You got to acknowledge it. I didn't find any of the movies funny, but I would have to acknowledge that some people are still enjoying it. They've gotten so into Tyler Perry that they find this stuff funny, right? For me, all the things that I laughed at were all plays. I didn't mind him getting rich. I thought he deserved it. He earned it. I mean, he doing plays and movies and singing and damn. Anyway, people get tired of stuff. I mean, you can only hold the audience so much with Medea. Somebody said he's got something new coming out with Medea. You know, you want to cash in as much as you can, but I think you've already done that, Perry. But as the owner of a studio, I would think that he would have several characters who have come up by now. Nobody come up but you? Mm-mm. I mean, it's not to say that he hadn't given a lot of black people jobs and work and stuff like that, but they were on because they were talented people. He had the means to put them on. He has an audience that thinks he's funny. That's what matters. Yeah. I mean, I don't like rap music, but you got to admit, them people have done something extraordinary. They run the music industry. Hip hop, rap, where'd that come from? I mean, when I was coming up, it was the gift was to sing, right? Whether you were singing backup or you were in a group, it was all about singing. These people don't even sing. Now imagine that. How can you take over a whole damn industry and you don't sing? They proved a lot of people wrong, honey. They said, no, baby, it's all about talking. It's all about poetry. You can respect it, right? I bet Bubbles says, I bet Tyler Perry has a casting couch for men. Did you see Pause? That was with the Boondocks. Yeah, he wasn't happy about that, honey. I think he got it banned from all media. When they presented him as just being that, he had a casting couch for men, even one old granddaddy. That shit was funny as hell. But Tyler Perry didn't find it funny. Now, as far as him, I mean, they made a big deal out of his sexuality. People feel like he's lying. According to Walter Lee Hampton, they were girlfriends. But I don't know what difference they make at this point. I mean, people come out all over the place. Honey, it ain't like you're going to have sex with him. So if he chose to keep that part of his life separate and secret, that's on him. I don't blame him for what he did. I think now he needs to give others a chance. But hey, it ain't my money. Yeah, he got to give him another chance, honey. He puts people in his projects, you know, actors, actresses. A lot of people made appearances in his shows, and they made their careers, right? But they were never in a position where they were actually writing things. It was all about what he wrote. So I didn't find any of the movies funny. Maybe a couple of scenes, but I didn't. And I kept trying because obviously I saw all of them. And then I really didn't find none of the television stuff funny. I didn't find that at all. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he built that into a major corporation. I remember when him and Oprah Winfrey were falling out because she wanted him to step up his game a little bit as far as what he was putting out, to be not so slapstick, and he resisted, and then he ended up getting his own studio. So as long as somebody want to see it. Medea gets an acting coach and doesn't quit her day job. I think Medea's played out. Bob loves his dramas. I used to love them too. I don't think I stopped buying CDs altogether. If I'm going to see something, I go with Gamage House. He has all of them. He has the whole collection. And of course, with all this media, you can find it somewhere. Get rid of my stripes. Now I'll dry my mouth here. That's probably why my teeth is dropping out, because the damn mouth's so dry. Behind that trazodone. Can I do it like that? No, I can't do it like that. That's too dark. Behind that damn trazodone, baby. Now, it has been putting me to sleep. I've been waking up at 7, take the dog out. If I don't wake up, the dog climbs on my head. Hit me with his paws. No, I ain't talking about you, boy. He got a built-in clock. Actually, he starts at about 6:30 to make sure he's that deep. I got to go. You want me to go on the floor? He's a well-trained dog. Medea Plate introduced his Browns. I didn't find the Browns that funny. They're too slapstick. I didn't like them. Gave other actors a chance to shine. Yeah. Then he did things that were experimental, because you have a comedy play with all the singing in it. And then when was that ever accomplished? Right? But he did it. He had the vision to see it. He did it. I mean, he's a successful person because his plans worked. Because there's some of the singing was fantastic in those things. And he mixed them together. That's because it was a play. As a play, you can see it all the time. You know, people sing in plays, right? But he brought it to the big screen and everything. Bubbles, what's wrong? What is wrong, girl? Bubbles said Tyler Perry hold casting calls in bathhouses, gyms, Jack Pornhub, parks. Y'all are so interested in what that man does under his drawers, child. Trust me, if he's a billionaire, he do whatever the hell he want to do. And maybe he probably makes them all sign non-disclosure and then enforce them, right? If you tell anybody about what went on in this bedroom, I'm going to sue your ass. It's got to be hard, though. I mean, you just be yourself and you can do anything you want to do. They might pay attention. They'll talk about it for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. But after they know you're gay, okay, he's gay. Like, we know Anderson Cooper gay, right? He gets gay. Don Lemon, we know he gay. He gay, right? So we ain't shocked when we see him on the beach somewhere with a guy. But when you are in the closet, that's a hard way to live, honey. You can't trust nobody. You have to pay off people to keep them quiet. Watch who you seen with and all that bullshit. Watch who you talk to. Did you say too much to that person? Somebody, I want you to meet this guy. Who is he? We got to run a background check and all this bullshit, right? Better, you could be out these days too. There's no reason that Tyler Perry would have to be in the closet. I don't see any reason for him to be in the closet. If he is in the closet, I assume that he's in the. I mean, I've been in this gay thing a long time, honey. When I see him, I see gay. But it's not my life. He can live any way he want to live. I'll say that it would be an easier life for him if he would just come on out. If he is gay. We have to say allegedly. Oh, you want Diddy to come out too? Lord have mercy. Y'all want the gangsters to come out and tell all their business. I don't even think coming out is going to be such a big deal in the future. Just let people just say none of your goddamn business and let that be it. Because there's really no reason to know. It's not like somebody you see on the screen. You're gonna actually meet them or make love with them or anything like that. Just all a mental thing, right? From our training, we were trained to be homophobic and all that kind of stuff. But really, it never did have anything to do with you. So I think social media does help in that way. I mean, we're all communicating on here, right? Which we probably wouldn't have done if it weren't for social media. The best moderators in the world arise. No, reside. We're the best. Wait a minute. But the best moderators in the world reside. Where the moderators reside, where the money reside, and where the moderators reside. Did you get your book, Nicole, Reloaded? You said you're going to check again. I don't know. I'm about to leave the chat since I'm in a restaurant. Oh, you in a restaurant? Oh, living large. I would definitely check out your channel and give a message in my comments. Okay, Charles Dodson, enjoy. I'm glad you enjoyed your meal. You're leaving the restaurant, right? Okay. Oh, you're arriving in the restaurant. Okay. I'm about to go get me a haircut. Look at that shit. Ooh, that gray is coming in, baby. And then I was wondering why am I always scratching the back of my head, right? Because you're going bald back there, nigga. It's a bald spot. You see that? And it's more gray here than anywhere else. Just a little. Oh Lord, have mercy. We're gonna have to go bald then. But that gray just pops up. Ooh, I can see it now. I should never have looked at it. Look right here. It's starting to go bald, honey. I guess it happens to everybody. Fortunately, I'm not looking for nobody, so it should make a difference. You like it growing out, like in COVID when we had a big afros and things. No, we're taking this stuff off. So mine is, I got that kind of black hair that just beats up real fast, right? No matter how much you brush it and all that kind of shit, it just gets real curly. Baby. Some of these youngsters, they like it that way. They'll grow the whole hair out like that. In other words, it's just all over the head, not comb, something going over here. And that's a hairstyle. I'm natural, you know. It's the black church religious audience upbringings that keeps Tyler in the closet. Well, how the hell is he in the closet though? He out here with these great big old titties and I mean, Medea wasn't just it wasn't just a costume. He was speaking like an old woman, a bitter old woman, right? How the hell? I don't know how they. I don't know. See, he knows better than I do. How can you get religious church people interested in an act like that with a man in drag? But he pulled it off. That was his primary audience, you know. A good grade of hair. I wouldn't describe it as that. My hair never grew. Even when people were having afros and all that, never really got much longer than this, you know. I saw, though, some of my old videos that you know, it's about twice as long as this. But some of them guys in well, I guess still, they grow dreads and all this shit, falling all down their damn. And then some of us, our hair never grows. Men and women. You just have short hair. Maybe it's too coarse or whatever it is. And then some people get thick hair, but it still grows long. I never had that issue. Don't let your hair grow out like Squeenie and let it mat and get it matted. He's about to mat. He's supposed to get cut on the 27th of this month. Oh, when is that? Oh, next week. It's a damn shame you gotta wait that long to get a haircut for a dog. Somebody told me that Petco does it though, for basically the same price. So I gotta check that out too. Benny Hill dressed in drags. Yeah, didn't he? I know that guy. What's that other one? In the 50s, Lawrence Welk. No, Lawrence Welk. It was one of them guys. Milton Berle. I think he was one of the first ones because he was at the beginning of television. It's always been fun. We make too big a deal out of stuff, child. Oh, that's gay. That's gay. So if it's gay, so what? It's funny. Anytime I go to anything that's presenting themselves as being a comedy, then I want to laugh. If I don't laugh, it's not funny, nigga. I think you ripped me off. That's all I'm saying. Milton Berle. It's spelled Milton Berle. Was a comedy legend. Yes, he put on his dress. And what were the ones in Some Like It Hot? Wasn't that Jack Lemmon? It's always been around, huh? My first one was Flip Wilson, Geraldine. Her husband name was Killer. Y'all remember Killer? Jack Lemmon. Oh, was it Tim Curry in Rocky Horror Picture Show? Well, he did a fabulous drag act. But that ain't really got nothing to do with just sexuality. If a man puts on a dress, a whole lot of black comedians, though, have at one point had a character like that. Jamie Foxx. Ooh, that girl was ugly. What was her name? The one that Jamie Foxx used to do on Living Color? That was an ugly woman. They always they would do the skits, and when the men reject her, she even had Dracula to reject her because she's so ugly, you know. You do her mouth a certain way. That made him famous as hell. He rolled that into fame. He's now a very extremely well-paid actor. But he started with that character. I think that was his main character. What was her name? Was it Wanda? Ooh, that was an ugly woman. Wanda. Wanda was extra ugly. It's just playing a role. Eddie Murphy had plenty of dresses on. Ooh, Rasputia. Talking about ugly women. What? Wait a minute. Was Rasputia? Was that Eddie Murphy in drag? Oh my! I don't remember. Did I think it was somebody else? You know what? I don't think I was Rasputia. What's the name of that movie? Was that Eddie Murphy? Because she had all that makeup on and all that stuff on your face, make her fat. You know. It never occurred to me if that was him. I never thought of, maybe I didn't know about it. I don't remember. 15 men put on dresses. But I don't believe that playing a character is got anything to do with your sexuality. There's two different subjects. I was Eddie. Girl, I don't think I ever knew it, recognized it. I'm trying to think back to when I saw that. I thought it was funny. It got lampooned too. They wanted to the trans girls went off on about that one. And about fat shaming, I'm not really with this cancel culture thing. I think if a person has done work 20 years, 15 years, 30 years to build a career, and they do something that is simply not funny to somebody, I don't think you should cancel them forever. I just don't believe it. Maybe they have to take a licking and maybe kind of get in that money a little bit, but I'm not with all this canceling people. You want to cancel somebody, cancel Harvey Weinstein. Cancel some of these people who have really done something, but not over no comedy show. But now Dave Chappelle, he knew that going in though, because all he talked about was how they already felt about it and how much trouble his shows had already caused him. And so so let's make that my subject then. He's your mama. He's your daddy. He's that nigga in the alley. He's your doctor when you need. He give you what you want, honey. Giving them something they can feel. What was My Chicago? He had a TV show called Mr. Chicago. He passed away. I don't remember Mr. Chicago. Dave Chappelle was right. This is last show on Netflix, right? So cash in, child. He don't give a fuck about your controversy. So what? I got my check, honey. And every time somebody click on there to see what the controversy is, that my check just goes up. I mean, maybe they're giving bonuses, honey. They said, we're going to have to trash your name a little bit, Dave, but we got a plan. They canceled Dave. He has a cult following at this point. He will always sell out shows, right? Because some people are offended by the whole cancel culture. Just by you saying somebody was canceled makes them more interested. I don't think he does that much show though. I believe he does primarily those because they pay him so much in those specials. Why work? Right? He chose to not participate in their show he was offered, another season of another show on another network, I believe. And they offered him this outrageous amount of money, and people couldn't believe he actually turned it down. I think he wanted to live a little bit and enjoy. He had enough money. You can only have so much money, honey. All these people talking about I'm worth, $700 million. What are you gonna do with that? What is Bezos gonna do with all his money? He's going off in space and shit. At some point, you might not want to work so hard, and you want to enjoy the fruits of your labors, honey. Particularly if you feel like you're about to have a nervous breakdown trying to present. They want to cancel everybody. Did Harvey Weinstein ever serve time in jail for assaulting young? What the hell happened with that case? Is he even been to trial yet? Didn't he do his stuff right around the same time as R. Kelly? Yet R. Kelly, he's in the midst of it, and we ain't hear nothing about no goddamn Harvey Weinstein. What happened? I mean, we know he had a lot of money. We know how that goes. I need some of them millions. Give me the millions. It hurts my stomach. I say, God damn, that boy just made $27 million. He might not have made $27 million on one. Maybe it was a contract for 2 or 3 of them. I don't know what the numbers were. I just remember that number. Okay. Him doing those comedy shows is work. Bring a comedian. Okay. Being a comedian is his career. There lies the $27 million Netflix started. Netflix feels like, what's your worth? How much money can you bring us? They're in a business. All businesses are in it to make money, right? So if they can afford to pay him $27 million, believe me, they're probably making 50, 60, 70, $80 million. They always gonna come out on top, honey. They don't just throw somebody up there. You see how they did Monique. They said, we're not gonna give you no damn. What is she on? 10 million? We're not giving you $10 million if all we can get is 1 million back. That's bad business. And we wouldn't have created this company if we were that bad a businessman. They assess what you're worth, what you're going to bring in. And like I said, since I don't watch comedians, I have no idea what they bring in. R. Kelly's coming to Chicago to face charge. Oh, he's coming to Chicago to face charges? That poor dude. I know y'all don't want me to say poor dude, but he gonna be in court for the next 3 years. I mean, he traveled everywhere, right? So theoretically, he could have a case in every state in the United States of America and other countries. Life is life, though. After they get to life, they might as well stop. They can keep him away from girls and boys. They better not release him. No. If R. Kelly gets out, he'll be an old man when he does. I don't know if they got any rape charges in there, but he certainly has statutory rape all over the goddamn place. He was sentenced to 23 years. Wait, what happened? He has maintained that he engaged only in consensual sexual. You can't have consensual sex with a minor, though, Nicole. After being found guilty in early 2020, he was sentenced to 23 years in prison. So he already has 23 years now, right? Then he got more. He got convicted again, and what state was that? So I don't know if he's even been sentenced on his second one. He's already got 23 years. If they run it consecutive, then it's life. You give you 23 years in this state, you go to another, and Chicago's going to have the most cases of anybody, right? And people still want to, they're going to come out the woodwork because they all want to get paid something, right? I don't think he got any money left or whatever, but I think Chicago's going to be the hardest one because he has so many cases there. He had years and years of living there. I don't know. I didn't follow the case very much. I don't like cases about kids. I really don't. I just can't. It just, I don't know. I'm not no big fan of no cases about killing children, hurting children, molesting children. I just can't get into it. We'll just wait till the last sentencing date and that'll be it. Juicy Smollett. Is that what he called him on there? Yeah, he talked about Juicy Smollett. He called him something other than Jesse, though. So he might have called him Juicy Smollett or Dave Chappelle. Uh-huh. He might be lazy though, because with all that money, he could be Tyler Perry in Ohio if he wanted to. Well, I don't hear very much from him until I hear about one of these specials. I think this is a brilliant publicity stunt. Miss Piggy said, "Unc Tim, can you sing the chorus to Curtis Mayfield, Pusher Man?" That's in falsetto, you know. That's gonna hurt some people's ears. I like to hear you sing. I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your doctor when you need. Want some coke? Have some weed. You know me. I'm your friend. Your main boy, thick and thin. I'm your pusher. I'm your pusher. Girl, I know I can't sing, but I really can't sing no falsetto, honey. I used to like Freddy's dead. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. That's what I said. And his hope and it was a rope, and you should have known. We're all filled up with progress, but sometimes I must confess, we can deal with rockets and dreams, but reality seems, what does it mean? Ain't nothing said, because Freddy's dead. People, thanks for coming in on this Saturday. Y'all go out and have a good time. We have miserable weather here in San Francisco. It's been cloudy and rainy. We didn't get rain today, but it'll be back tomorrow. Of course, California, we need the rain to combat all these damn fires we're constantly having. But I got to get out there in that rain and get this haircut, honey, and do a few errands. Thanks for coming in. I hope that satisfied you, Miss Piggy. Mm-hmm. Y'all have a good Saturday. Later.